Firing systems give us a mechanism to bring the display that we've been dreaming up in our head into the world for the enjoyment of all of those who get to see it in its glory. Innovations in tech have played a huge role, enabling the modern pyro show designer to do his or her thing. And as a junkie of that tech who's always looking for ways to be more efficient, I fall in love quickly with companies that understand my challenges. That's why the lot of us here at the Rhythm Pyro podcast love muuxBRD long time. We're huge proponents of the modern quick plug and quick connect match technology. It's hands down one of the most innovative and elegant industry solutions that's hit pyro in a long time. TJ, muuxBRD's owner, is on a mission to make sure that a wide variety of firing systems on the market have access to this industry-saving time tool. With slats and breakout boards compatible with Cobra, Ignite, Mongoose, Fire One, FireTech, and Starfire, there's likely a solution there for you. muuxBRD's capabilities don't stop at off-the-shelf, though. If you're a display company or a pyro club or just want your gear to be a representation of you, muuxBRD can tailor your slat's cosmetic look to your brand, offering custom PCB colors and even your logo. Jamie, AJ, and I use muuxBRD because it saves time. And while some hobbyists think it's cool to work on the same show for an entire year, that's all well fine and good. Do that where it counts, though. On the fun stuff, like design and picking product, and not on the stuff that's boring and takes forever, like punching down or landing standard wire lead cues. Head over to muuxBRD.com, muuxBRD.com. Invest in quality slats, breakout boards, and supporting technology for your firing system, and start talking about it. Because old flying wire leads and speaker terminals suck when you have more single shots in your show than you do dollars in your bank account.
I paid it off 9 months ago. Warranty ended 3 months ago and 2 hours ago, or 20 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know if you know this, but your warranty, it looks here like it just expired, literally before lunch. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why you just didn't come here before you ate lunch. How hard could it be?
Now you're going to get everybody calling in talking about you need to extend your lawnmower insurance.
Yeah.
I don't know if Cobra sold lawnmowers. I'd buy one from them.
Lifetime
guarantee. I bet you don't need a $4,000 tool to read the air code.
No, I would send it in and have it back like in 48 hours.
Wait, what? They need it's that advanced? You got to have like a reader?
Oh, yeah. You have to scan tool. It's all computerized and everything. So I don't know if it's a $20 part or if I need a new engine. I don't know what's wrong with it. All I know is I had to manually haul it off the trailer because it wouldn't start back up. And I'm like,
the hell?
The things I do for AJ.
I don't know what that means.
You got the mower either on or off of the trailer, and it's not in the spot that he wanted it to be. So then he had to move it manually.
Yeah, in front of the mower is 1.4 G. That was interesting.
And 6 gas cans.
4 gas mines.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. There is 3 boxes of match out there. I got to bring that in. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Where do we draw the line? Apparently gas in the gas mine. You know, if you just throw a cap on it, you're fine. Then you can haul it to the site.
It's all good. It's all good.
Don't do that.
That was a joke.
That was a joke. We do those here.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Yeah.
I thought everything I said was a joke. According to AJ.
Apparently.
What is that?
Yeah, apparently.
Like
every time I make a comment, AJ's like, oh, and you believed him. Like I actually believed him.
I didn't see, but
like
that's how you think I
believed
say
him.
It was a joke the way I said it.
Gefilte fish.
That's funny that when I say that, that's how you think I'm saying it. So that's even more funny.
And you take him seriously.
I got hairy legs.
No, I just picture you on the other end of the microphone.
Who, me?
No, AJ. Do you laugh like the guy in Hunger Games? No, AJ does.
That wasn't the guy from Hunger Games. That's why he thought it was him.
You should update this. You should do a voiceover on this episode where you change everybody's voice. AJ speaks as me, I speak as you, and you speak as somebody.
No, I don't want to do that. I guess
that's perfect.
I don't want to do that.
Oh, what a dick.
Welcome to the Rhythm Pyro Podcast, where Posey, AJ, and Jamie ignite your passion for pyromusical show design while testing the very limits of your capacity for stupid.
Welcome to the Rhythm Pyro Podcast. I'm AJ. That's Bo.
Hi.
And that's Jamie. I guess somebody has to.
AJ's got to be Jamie.
Same, but yeah.
And you got to be AJ.
I don't know how that would work.
And I got to be Bo.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That's the only way that works, I think.
That's weird. I never heard phones before.
Yeah, I don't know whose phone is that.
I've got mail, AJ.
It's not me.
Oh, it's Amber's. Amber's phone's in the bedroom.
Oh, my God.
That is not my fault. I didn't know it was in here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. He said, hi.
Nice, thanks.
Hi.
Who said hi?
It's like when the...
Hey, Amber! Your phone's in the bedroom! And it's going off!
Amber, your phone's ruining the podcast.
She wanted this because she wanted to be on the podcast. That's what it was.
That's what it is.
I mean, she is the one that does everything, so why are you
right?
Amber.
I don't do nothing.
Are you kidding me?
We could change the podcast.
Come on, you gotta word that like the kid. You gotta word that like Jamie. You gotta word that like the like AJ. You gotta word that like AJ. Hey, Amber, your phone's in here ruining the podcast.
No, they're still picking on me though. It doesn't matter. They're ignoring you.
Ain't nobody picking on AJ.
Hi, Amber.
Typical men.
You think she can hear you?
No.
AJ's picking on me.
No.
What's up?
No. Amber should take your place tonight.
Do you want me to? That's fine. I actually told her she should, because then I can do other things.
I don't understand why you don't have 2 mics yet.
I can put a set of headphones on it real quick. She'll be on the round table one.
Yeah, she'll be on the Crew Chronicles. I need to figure out how many seats we need for that. By the way, I've only got 8. Call that
the Boss Chronicles.
How many are we gonna have in the house?
Jamie, Jim, Derek.
Oh, hold on. I'm not counting on my fingers. Me, you, Jamie.
I was counting on my fingers.
Okay. Well, as long as somebody
so us 3, Jim, Derek, Chad, Nathan, Vanna, Amber.
That's 9.
That's all I got.
Hold on,
well, wait, you said that's 9?
That's 9.
Yeah. I got my mic and everything loaded.
I don't have that many seats. I got 8 seats.
That's right.
I got 8 seats, and that's given this house has a place that accommodates 8 people at once.
If I bring my interface, does that help at all?
We can look it up and find out. This is like the weirdest beginning to a podcast.
That's fine.
Oh,
it's
Amber's
fine.
Pissed. She left. She's like, "Fuck you guys." Then I don't want to talk to you.
She gone.
I'm done. Leaving my phone in there had the opposite effect of what I thought it would. I thought this was my big break. Okay, let's see here. CJ, thank you for sponsoring this week's episode. muuxBRD. More matches, less time. Go get you some. It's real good.
You sure it's more matches?
Shut up.
Get some.
Let's see here. The roundtable was awesome last week. You know how before I said many episodes ago, there's not many episodes that I'll go back and listen to. Well, it helps with when it's a show roundtable because I don't really get to listen to it anyway because I didn't edit it. So I actually listened to it, and I've now listened to it twice. That's how good I thought that episode was.
The last one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You were there. You were there, believe it or not.
I know. I know. I know. For once, it was amazing. It was really good.
She's like, wait a minute. What episode? What episode did I miss?
I thought you were talking about the roundtable one. I went to grab a drink real quick, so my headphones kind of came off my head for a second.
You're good.
What are we talking about?
You're good. So long as you muted when you took a drink, I'll be a happy camper.
No, I moved away. That's what I mean. I moved and my headphones came off.
Yeah,
so I really picked up the sound.
The Shit Show Roundtable, I thought was great this last week.
Yeah, it turned out awesome. CJ and Dana together, like, got a really good atmosphere about him. You know, really good persona. Yeah. He's his own comedian, so it's funny.
Yeah, I thought it was a real good time, you know.
Yeah, we had a podcast, don't you know? And then all of a sudden there was mowers and Canadians on my Facebook feed. It was weird, eh?
Oh, really? Mowers and Canadians?
Yeah. Didn't you see it? I sent it in the group chat.
I didn't see the Canadian one.
You had to listen to him talk. It sounded like Dana.
What did you do? Did you Google Canadian stereotypes before you got on the
it
podcast?
literally popped up on the Facebook feed like the day after the podcast. And I'm like, this guy's running around with 3 lawnmowers tied into a rope. And, you know, he's just, when you get bored, you know, you just get your mowers out, you know, eh? And don't do drugs, kids. Drugs are bad unless they're free. What? Like what? This got to be Dana. He must have spoofed me.
He said something to me today. He was going to send me something, but he said his email was messed up or it wasn't working. And I was like, you get on one RPP podcast and now your government shut you down, huh?
Yeah. You've been banned for life.
You've been banned. You cannot talk to the Americans.
Just wait until he lands at the airport.
Dana gets paid, CJ gets sick.
Dude, his wife's, wait, they're married, right? Before I get that wrong.
Who, Dana?
Who? Yeah, Dana and Jamie.
I don't think so. I don't know that for a fact, though.
Okay. Well, his, as she put it, snuggle buddy. You can tell, like, meeting her is going to be hilarious, too. She's got a nice way of joking around, too.
Yeah.
That message was pretty funny.
Yeah, I agree. I love meeting new people, and I think that's going to be a really fun time at Skywars. Dana, can't wait to meet you. CJ, thank both of you guys for joining us last week. It really was a lot of fun. If you would like to join us on a future episode of the Shit Show Roundtable, make sure you go join the Patreon, patreon.com/Rhythm Pyro. We always post the monthly casting calls on the Patreon before we post them anywhere else. And then go check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Today, by the time anybody hears this, the words that are coming out of my mouth, it's going to be the Friday? It'll be the Friday before PGI, which technically, I don't think anybody really shows up on Friday, right? It still hasn't started
like
yet.
Saturday's like that's like setup day for all the vendors and such.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, you'll probably listen to this on the way then. So I thought this was a good opportunity, and we were kind of kicking around topics in Messenger. And AJ, you said something, but obviously, you know, you and Nate designed a show for RKM and Sunday night's opening show, I believe. Actually, I take that back. I don't know what the order of the shows is that night, because apparently there's more than just 2 shows.
We're the opener of the opener for the opener.
I don't have any idea what that means, but
can you use that in a sentence?
There's someone. Oh God,
they're gonna do. I'll probably do that. Are they gonna do a national anthem?
National anthem, and then you have Pyroland doing their thing.
Okay.
Joel's gonna put on a show.
Cool.
And then it's mine and Nathan's show, and then there's a drone show. With
who's doing that?
RKM and who's the big drone company right now? That's
Sky Elements.
Sky Elements, thank you. And then it's the second RKM show closing night.
Okay, cool. You mentioned something in Messenger, but it made me think for a second. I'm like, it would be a cool topic because you're a traditional 1-4 designer that's stepped outside of that comfort zone a couple of times now, and figured we could use this as an opportunity to talk about the challenges that you have as a 1-4 designer moving into a space with display fireworks and designing around display fireworks. What's that?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, right.
The biggest one is like just trying to get out of the mindset of like, oh, I remember, let's use this. Oh, wait, hold on. I need something bigger. Mm-hmm. You're so used to, like you said, playing with 1-4 that you're trying to use a lot more of it still.
It completely extends your vertical sight picture. So everything then becomes relative, like we've talked about 100 times in other episodes. Like, when you start incorporating display fireworks, your sight picture just extends vertically to the size of your biggest shell. What's the biggest shell that you and Nate have in that show?
8.
Oh,
we only have 3 of them.
So it's still, that's way up there.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to look like though, because it's PGI. So you have to be 800 feet back. So I think it'll look like a 4-inch, but the width will be bigger. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it'll look as tall as a 4-inch is what I'm guessing.
Right. At that perspective, I think the further back it is, the lower it's going to look in the vertical sight picture.
Yeah. Plus, I made sure that they're by themselves when they go off, so that it doesn't get blinded or blended with something else in front of it. So you actually get to see the effect.
Yeah, that's special too. Like those big shells, you do kind of want you want to enjoy them, but I think if they're placed right, you have them in a really cool spot where it's going to sound sweet when it's featured against the track. Yeah,
they should. There's some better shells, and actually, these are ones that Nathan got. They're oh god, I forgot what they're actually called, but they're Young Fang, like ghosting, 6-time ghosting 4D kind of shells.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it the ones did they take a shape?
Like, there's like 5 different colors that constantly change the whole time inside of it. So it's not like blue to red to green kind of thing. It's like different quadrants are always constantly changing colors.
Oh, that's cool. This is going to look like a
like a kaleidoscope, I guess is the best way to put it.
Huh.
And there's a song, the section of that song, it almost sounds like a siren going off. And the song is called Sound of the Sirens. And it's like, dun, and every time it does that.
The Cops theme song.
Yeah. Man, you got to learn the lyrics.
Yeah. What did you find most challenging about this show in particular when it came to bridging the gap? What kind of approach did you take? Did you start with the little stuff and then spot your shells in depending on how the mood felt?
So for me, it was more on trying to find how to, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I guess doing for the shells, for me, it was more of trying to make the spectrum constantly always be either full or raising the 1.4 up. And then as that's ballooning and popping, throwing shells above it to kind of get that secondary effect.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was probably the hardest part, is trying to learn 1.3 shells. Like you understand like most of them, what their names are, but some of the names you get them and you're like red moving star. What does that sound like to you?
What? I don't know. Red moving star sounds like if I were to take a wild guess, I'd say a crosser, or I'd say, like a go-getter.
Right. But what would you think the tails would be? Because it doesn't say red moving star with silver tails, gold tails.
I mean, does it say that?
But it does have tails.
It does. Yeah.
So the biggest thing was, making sure what these shells did to make sure the effects matched with what we wanted it to look like, or to color wise. Like we did a lot of searching into assortments and then tearing certain effects out of those assortments. And that was another challenging part. Is trying to figure out what shells we could have to fit those color palettes at that time.
Right. Yeah. With all the assortments being so different too, did all of that stuff come in at the same time, or did it come in sporadically throughout the season? Then you had to make multiple testing trips to get product video.
Well, luckily, the most of the videos we got to shoot a bunch, or we didn't get to, but I got to go to the RKM demo, and they shot a bunch of their specialty shells there.
Yeah,
and then Brian was kind enough that we did a personal demo where we went up there and shot all of their new shells. They had a bunch of new Night Owl brand shells that are singles, special effect kind of shells.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to see them there, and seeing it twice was a bonus because it really got you a chance to kind of see where your timing was on them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other biggest thing is you're trying to, at least I try to hit them on beats that you're trying your best to, but you know that 1-3 shells, you either get a good batch that are always on or you get like a maybe kind of thing.
Well, yeah. And then nothing probably screws with you more than figuring that you've got it on the first shell, and then you go back to demo number 2 a month later, shoot another shell, and you're like, God, that was way off.
Right. Not even close.
Now we have to shoot a third one.
So a lot of that was a challenge too, because, you know, we're used to like 62s and things like that, where they're pretty always on solid. You know, you shoot 1 or 2 from your batch and they're all like that kind of thing. Same thing with, all of our 1-4 product. It's always pretty consistent for the most part in rise to break times. Yeah. So for that, it was trying to remember not to use it to like really hit a beat. So it was more of using it to fill that section of a song to really balloon it out. You know, that moment in the song. If it had like a powerful hit moment, you know, center out, and you know whether it hit on that beat or not, one of those is going to hit left or right, but it's going to still balloon out and fill the sky.
Right. In the design that you guys settled on, do you feel like you made a pretty good use of the space, or did you find any challenges tying in your lower levels to your higher levels? Because it seems like the only bridge that you have when you're working, especially with really high caliber display fireworks, the 6-inch to 8-inch shells, is once you start working up, given that perspective, right? How challenging was it to tie in your low level to your high level?
So, we got 2 lines, kind of like at Skywars where we had the front line and the back line single shots.
Yeah.
The front line's mainly going to be for when it's just single shots or, you know, 1-4 items going off to create a pattern or a section to follow something. And then that back section, we're keeping with the 3s and 4-inch, which we're taking the 3-inch and the 4-inch and keeping it together so that we shoot 3 and 4s together. They layer. And then also doing the 1-4 cakes and the backline single shots exactly at 400 feet too. So that way we can do 3s, 4s, 1-4 cakes, and 1-4 single shots and still be able to layer everything. And then 5, 6s, we use those to when they're more sky pieces with nothing else really going off underneath them, unless the effects are more in your mid-level kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if not, I want people to actually see the effect of the shells. I don't want it to just be a blob behind like a parabolic or something, or, you know, case going off. You're shooting a 5-inch back there or a 6-inch, and it's like, well, you can't really see the full effect.
Yeah,
I want those shells to actually stick out so people get to enjoy them.
Especially if it's a really pretty shell. If it's a really pretty shell with a gorgeous effect, then depending on what the effect is, that can be really profound with the music. The shell itself could, depending on what it does, it can be a total extension of what you might have going in, you know, your lower level, because the secondary effect of the shell, especially if you have something like what you mentioned earlier with like the swimming stars or the moving star, you know, that sounds to me like it has a secondary effect to it. So that in and of itself, having the focus there for it to kind of do its thing, it's easy for that stuff to get lost if there's a bunch of other movement happening below it.
Correct. Or even if, like I said, if they're going off, even if there's something else going off underneath it, we tried to make sure that it was in that 3-4 inch range so that everything that's stuck together will actually layer. And actually one of the coolest parts about it is being able to layer stuff. Like, you know, for us, the biggest thing we always talk about is getting the low, mid, and high for our shows and making sure that we can layer kind of things. And we're always stuck with no abs or 62s. Simple as that. But when you have the ability to shoot 3s, which go about the same height as, you know, 62 for the most part, a little higher. Now you got 4s you can throw in there. Now you can double layer. Like that even looks cooler.
Yeah.
Or you can, as we call it, the Mickey Mouse look. Something in the middle and then two bigger things on the outer edges. And then you can go bigger on the other outer edges kind of thing. Or I guess it's more like the Olympic symbol.
Yeah. That's actually a very accurate depiction of it, I think, is the Olympic logo rings. How do you position your shells? So on that line that you have, the 3s, the 4s, and then you said 3 4s and cakes, right? Or do you have the 5s there too?
No, cakes are going to be back farther. So everything is on the 400 line pretty much.
Okay.
And then 5s, 6s, and 6s and 8s go, obviously feet back. But those are the effects I'm really trying to, if we have any kind of layering to those, it's more of like a building thing. Like it'll be 3s, 4s, and then any effects that are down low will be more in your mid to low, like effects going at a hard, say like 60 or 50 degree kind of thing. But then the shells in the back will still look just as high as the 4s were or the 3s were. They'll just look bigger. So they'll cover the field more. I mean, 600 feet's a lot. I guess that was the other difficult part, is trying to stay on budget and still stay in that true pattern of like, how we script shows. We like to do a lot of movement, and that's difficult too when you're trying to have a 1-3 show at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it gets expensive real quick.
Yeah, right. I would imagine it adds up, but it's a balancing act, I would think.
Oh, it is.
As crazy as you probably want to get with single shots, especially at that budget, having access to the bigger display fireworks, it's just more tools for the toolbox that, you have the ability to extend your show into these super high visual spectrums. But the challenge seems like it always becomes, how do you tie it together tastefully?
It's difficult part, I guess. I tried to do it the way I do with 1/4 and 62s, and the way, I guess, for this show, because this will be the one I do that's the biggest, I guess, in this aspect of learning, because this is all learning experience to me. I hope to God that it looks the way it's supposed to. But I just took it as, okay, if I did a 1/4 show and I really had the quality shells to layer, how would I do it? And that's the way I scripted that show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, we always talk about wanting to have those effects that you can't get in 1/4. Well, now you can, and now I can get the height of it. So I treated it the same way. I just treated it as a way of, well, let's just pretend these are 62s with all these really cool effects. And now I can do what I would originally done if I actually had that in 1/4 kind of aspect.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, man. I'm really looking forward to see what you do with the shells and a lot of the 1/3 stuff in general. Like, I mean, even cakes, are you guys taking a lot of liberties with display cakes?
So we didn't use any display cakes because a lot of it was more of, they're compound cakes now.
Yeah.
So, so the first 2 songs, Nathan pretty much had them done. They're all his show for the most part. There's like maybe 10% of things that we changed things around because we turned it from a 1/4 show into a 1/3 show. The third song we got into, that one was kind of tricky because that was the one that we got into and we're like, we're running out of money. And so speaking of exhibition cakes, we actually one of them is a 1/3 cake. It's a wolf howl cake. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like howling peony. But then they have some other howling cakes, but we treated them different. They shoot in rows of 5, and we kind of use them as like curtain openers. So imagine like 13 positions wide, and you're going from center out. So you're shooting 5 of these rolls of 5. You're shooting 5 in and out slowly, like you're opening a curtain. And then you're coming back in. So it still has a pattern to it.
Yeah.
But then we're just constantly popping shells above it. And everything that's going up is strobing. There's either like a red strobe, or there's like I forgot what it's called. It's a red chrysanthemum with red strobing peony. And then there is a green, oh God, I forget. It's a green strobing something. I forget how they call it. but it changes colors back and forth. So it's like red opening out, green coming back in, and then the whole wall all at once. And then it kind of repeats that pattern back and forth. So it was the only way we could really keep that section of that song without going over budget. But I think it'll turn out good. The only problem is for about 20 seconds, I'm wondering what people are going to be like, that's a whole lot of howling. Because if it's 200 cues at 5 shots a piece. So what is that? That's what, that's 1,000 shots of those howling peonies alone. There's going to be a whole lot of plastic pieces out in that field. And that doesn't include the howling cake we took and ripped it apart. That was like 200 shot.
Yeah, I bet that makes a really cool effect, though.
If it turns out that way, making the cake was the hardest part because the way that rowing goes in that cake, I thought when we saw the shots on that cake, I was like, oh, this just goes to the left and then to the right, like a normal 1/4 cake.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all. Huh. It goes front to back, and the timing fuse for each one of those 5 rows is in the middle of the cake. Thank God when you were able to flip it over, you could take a pair of needle nose pliers and like just get in there to rip that damn fuse out of there. Oh. So it worked out, but it was like when I got to the point we were both scratching our head looking at him like, we didn't look at this. Didn't think about this one. Cause again, we're used to 1/4 and how it's put together.
Yeah. Right.
1/3 is just, that's however they do it. The fusing's totally different.
Huh.
But I'm hoping that section turns out good. Again, every time I watch it, the first couple of times we watched it, we're like, yeah, cool. And then we're like, oh man, that's a lot. That's a lot of screaming for 20 seconds.
It'll be bad. It'll be bad.
But I think the crowd will like it though. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing.
I can't remember if it was you or Chad when I used 7 positions of Whistle to Thunder. And Chad was like, did you use the whole cake or roast? Like, I used the whole cake 7 times. It was bad. So I have a feeling that 20 seconds of howling awesomeness is going to be bad.
I mean, right. With the howling to thunder cakes, you could use those. People use them in finales all the time, and they sound great when they're done in a volley. I mean, sure, I suppose you could overdo it, but it really just depends on what the music is calling for at that point. Who's ever said, oh my God, that was way too much finale? No one.
Well, it's more of it's kind of weird though, because it's in like a softer part of the sound out the sirens. It's the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just winding down. And we couldn't really think of what else to do there besides just keep filling the skies. It's like a pre-finale before the last song. Yeah. So it was just, let's just do this curtain wipe. The cakes were really cheap, so it was able to do what we do with 1/4 and poor man slice them to keep them constantly going, but create a pattern at the same time constantly, not just letting the cakes go and randomly doing their thing. We're actually controlling it. I mean, we took in 20 seconds, we're using 200 cues just to keep that pattern going across the field and then popping 4s and 5s above it to kind of keep this like constant glitter in the sky going on.
Yeah. You know, we've talked so much about being able to find your focal point. But if you keep that pattern kind of doing its thing, just like in music, I feel like if you establish the music in your head, you can also establish visual patterns on the field. And 20 seconds is more than enough time for a spectator to look at the pattern that's going on in the field, understand the music, understand what the pattern's doing, but then take in the whole pattern. You know, it's not like it's rip the field once or twice, and then you have to try to take in 5-inch shells plus the pattern and understand it in context with the music. So, I mean, it sounds like with you guys doing it over 20 seconds, dude, it sounds like that'll stick, I think.
Crossing fingers.
Cool. If it turns out happens, if it doesn't do that, I'll tell you though. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. It actually looks like shit.
That's fine. I'll be more than happy to get Any ideas for after this?
Was that
criticism? Welcome.
Oh man, I was anxious to see if you guys used any cakes.
So we did use. I know. Sorry, we got up. That was one of the cakes.
That was it was technically a cake.
So we used those. We used. Oh God, it's a 100 shot. Oh, it's the Sky Comet cake from Arcam. I forgot the name. I think they just call it Sky Comet, but it zips back and forth. It's a really cute, beautiful cake. And then what else do we use cake wise? 1-3. Falling Leaves cake. It's tails to falling leaves, and it's more. We took that and cut it into slices. Yeah, where we kind of walk them back and forth and around, and it's just a filler section because the music kind of dies down, but it's letting you know that something's coming. It's a build kind of thing. Cool. So you wanted your eyes to kind of stay down low because everything's going to build from that point. Yeah. Other cakes, we used a ton of 1-4 cakes actually. Yeah. So that was actually kind of nice because we already knew what they did and how to use them. Yeah. But we broke them up into single slices, like taking the cakes and actually making, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and row 1's over there, 2's over there kind of thing. So that was interesting. That took a lot of work. So it's kind of nice because I feel like we're not just doing a 1-3 show. We're doing what we know as a 1-4 show and then adding what we believe 1-3 on top of that would be. Yeah. Like you mentioned before, they kind of kicked the door down. We're used to shooting with 62s, and let's face it, it's really like it's gotten better, but it's still limited in the effects that we have at our disposal. And being able to use 1-3 and display fireworks to accent all that, especially when you get those super long burning effects, the ghosting quadrant shells that you said that Nathan picked out, like that's great because you can use those to really, really make an impact and like hit that impact point in the music rather than, with 62s, the burn times they're not super long, even if you get the really long burning effects. If you get a really nice white strobe, 62 millimeter, sure, it's going to linger and it's going to be there for a minute. Some brocades and some nishikis too, but being able to use 1-3, I'm really anxious to see what you guys did and how you use it in conjunction with the music. So I did use the very last song is by who's that artist that I sent you? Jerry Johnson. Jerry Johnson. Jerry. Yeah. So he did a collab with another guy who does like SpongeBob songs. So there's a section of it where it has plankton in it. Plankton. Yeah. And so to reference, the SpongeBob thing, I shot in volleys 3 to 4 to 5 to 6s of the jellyfish shells constantly going on through his part. Nice. So I used, it'll be a Dominator. Oh God. What's the, that cake they have? It's a purple peony gold strobing effect. I don't know if you remember those. They were 49 shot, came 2 to 1. They just came out. The newer ones. Yeah. It's bigger guys. Yeah. Yep.
Purple pistol.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. Gold strobe, purple pistol. Maybe that's what it is. So we use those as slices to keep the bottom filled and then constantly filled the sky with those jellyfish and volleys of 3s. Then, like I said, 4s and 5s and just kept building that section over and over again. Yeah. And I kind of thought it was like a good reference. So like, well, they're going to hear this. And a lot of the kids that or younger people will be, oh, hey, that's SpongeBob. Oh, hey, jellyfish. Hopefully the two will click. That's how I looked at it. That song's got a lot of emotion into it. So I hope that song kind of comes out to play. And I'm hoping
you should have just broke straight to the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. I think that would have had the effect that you were looking for.
Nah, I can't do that. I still got to feel the song. Emotional show. Still got to feel it.
What are we talking about?
That's what she said.
Ay, ay, ay. Let's see. All right. How many wheels are we going to see?
5 again.
5. The magic
but not
number.
as much as they won't be filled like they were at Skywars.
Really?
But spread out wider, which I think will be good.
Do you find that difficult not to fill them?
This one was, believe it or not, we just kind of like, it wasn't until we got done, we're like, wow, this sucks. We have like a half a wheel, and we got like only barely 2/3 of a wheel.
Nathan, look, we have room.
We have all this room.
Nathan looks at you and with that stoic, lovely meat making face and goes, "But we have no money."
It wasn't even that. It was like, all right, well, we could fill these real cheap. It was more of like, again, you're trying to create a bigger picture. You know, those are cool when you're trying to do something low, obviously, like in a 1.4 life. But so when we use those two, they're also during those crazy one-shot sections where we're using them to go along with that. So, I mean, there is sections where there's not shells going off. We're doing the normal 1.4 kind of thing and really emphasizing a bunch of the stuff with one-shots. But then after that's filling your face again with shells.
Yeah. Did you find kind of retraining your brain difficult? I mean, looking at a screen while you're designing this stuff, you know, obviously you have everything kind of crammed into a tiny, pretty little picture. You know, it's really easy to look at your design software and see the entirety of your shoot site in one place. In your head, how much did you have to kind of pull your own reins back and say, okay, I need to pump the brakes here, or I really do need to respect the product that's being shot? Because in reality, when this stuff's rolled out into the field, who knows what it's going to look like?
Wait, so I'm not following you there. You mean like watching it on a smaller screen and wondering what it looked like in a bigger picture?
Yeah, when you're designing in software, an 8-inch shell with all of your single shots and all the shit goes. I mean, it's so easy to zoom out and go, oh man, this looks amazing from 6 miles away. You know, the people that are and that's if they have a clear line of sight to your fronts. But it's almost never like that when you're designing and looking into the field. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, understanding and being able to relate to your design style. I would personally find that difficult, and I would have to set checks and balances for myself to try to make myself understand, okay, when I get out there, it's go time. I have to remember that there's a whole hell of a lot more vertical now. Like my high is way, way above my low. It's really hard to connect all of that stuff together. So how did you set checks and balances for yourself, or keep yourself in a mindset where you're like, oh, okay, well, this looks good, but maybe it won't when I actually roll it out?
We try to balance. If we're going to fill the sky and down low, we're going to use 3s, 4s, cakes, slices, positions together. And then we knew we're going to have to choose when we want the bigger shells that have the bigger effects are going to last longer and really like stick out. We're either going to have them as a showpiece only kind of thing, with maybe something down low that's really small, but nothing to take away from the upper. Or again, with the single shots, using those to be the main focus. And then once those are gone, tying back in the 1.3 with layering, and then getting rid of that layering effect to just build shells. So it's, I almost said it, specifically all shells in the background.
Nailed it.
I catch myself all the time now.
Nailed it. Did you guys design anything where, you know, you kind of came back to it and you're like, all right, we got to scrap it. We got to scrap it because we don't think it's going to work?
I did that constantly, actually, in the last song. Actually, I was stuck on the last song until I talked to you. Remember, I sent you that little part, and I was like, I need something to start this off with. And I could not. I was like, it sounded like it just needed something to draw your eyes to the ground. And you're like, just take a gerb and put it on the wheels, and so it shoots down. And I was like, And then 15 minutes later, I sent you that little thing. I'm like, thanks, man. Like, I just needed that one idea, just something to bring it in. And I was like, oh, there we go. And it all came out right after that.
Never underestimate the power of a GERB, baby.
a jet, or
a
whatever.
jet, yeah, a jet.
There is two things that Nate really spent a good chunk of money on for himself, or on by himself, testing out. Two effects that he designed in that show. He's using, well, you saw a Skywars show, right? Sim, did he ever send that to you a while back? In the gold section song that you redid for him? Because he's using the two songs at the beginning that you mixed for him.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There were pieces, he had sent like little snippets of really cool runs that he did, man, where I'm like,
they work. Yeah.
My God. My God. I like, not only is it pretty, but just the shapes, the shapes that he managed to put together. I'm like, one, I really hope the product actually does that. If it does, that's going to have such a profound effect on the crowd and the way it's perceived. Now, it was next level stuff. I do remember seeing at least one of those shapes, but I think I got them in snippets. I don't know if I got the esteemed privilege of seeing the entire simulation, but the stuff that he sent over wowed the shit out of me.
Did you remember sending the part where it's the in out part in God, who's the name of that song? When the lights come on, Asking Alexandria.
Maybe he did. He had an Asking Alexandria song, and then there was the gold song. Okay,
so in gold, you remember the heart?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Like that's the one where I watched it in the car. This is what pissed me off and I say pissed me off in the sense that ever since I showed Katie that, like anytime I shoot any kind of fireworks stuff, she's like, "Oh, well, that's really nice. That's real pretty." And then, a week later, she's like, "Is Nate's show out yet? Did Nate shoot his show yet?" Oh my God, Bo, did you see Nate's show? Yes.
Wow. She just wants something new. Wait, what are we talking about?
Yeah, right. He's got the meats, and now he also has my wife's heart when it comes to firework design. What do I have if not one of those two things?
Here, check both of you. Check Messenger real quick.
All right. 20. I don't know. Is it going to play? It's not. Wait, there it goes. Yeah. That was
beautiful.
Yeah, right. Something unique, like you said.
Okay,
never seen that before.
That was what I'm seeing here. This is an IRL real life test, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. And that's gonna make some pee-pee dribble and some pants. Did they do? Hold on. Oh wait, hold on. I'm trying to get to the second one. For some reason, I'm hitting play and then it's not doing anything for like a 5-second delay, and then it'll go.
Yeah, it'll do the first one, then there's like a 15-second delay, and it gets into the second in-out section he's doing.
Yeah.
That's actually coming out of our own pocket, actually, to do that, though.
Really?
That was we ran out of money.
One too many howling cakes. How much of your budget's dedicated to match?
$2,800.
All right. Out of how much?
That's an interesting one, though. So originally,
yeah,
it was. I was thinking. I think it was 14,000 or something like that. Yeah, 13,500, or it was originally 13, and then as I was talking to Zach, he said something. He's like 14. I was like, wait, you said 13. He's like, well, we thought you'd go 1,000 over. I'm like, okay. Oh. So, but then I heard landed cost. So I was thinking, okay, 14,000 at landed cost. That's like $20,000. I'm like, we got a whole lot of money. So we started going nuts on stuff. Then it was like, oh no, landed cost is like half that cost. I'm like, then why say landing cost? So we ended up at 14,000 retail or wholesale, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
And then it's like 7,200 landed.
Huh?
Which
rock and roll. Rock and roll.
Not enough to fit 252 foot or 54 or whatever those size semis are. So we are trailers.
The help.
We had a tiny budget.
The opener. Oh, it's a shame the local band doesn't live less than 13 hours away. My God. What a trip. How many hours does it take you to get there? Not to pivot the subject here. I'm just not looking forward to this drive at all. At all.
I want to say,
don't get me wrong. I love you guys and I can't wait to spend time with you. But the last 2 weeks, it's making this drive just giving me anxiety. I wish I could just take my trailer
here tomorrow night. You could leave with us and ride with us.
I can't do that because I'm in such hot water at work to begin with that I need to spend as much time as I can there before I tell everybody peace out for a week. Sorry, guys, gotta go.
It says 8 hours, 45 minutes. So I'm guessing pulling a trailer 10 something.
Perfect. So you're telling me that even though my trailer is small, it's not going to take me 13 hours to get there. It's actually going to take me 15.
Hold on,
and the way I drive, I'll probably be there Thursday morning. Yeah, I have to bring the trailer. So I can't fit all that stuff in the cab of the truck. The mobile podcast rig alone is as tall as I am.
Oh, I didn't even think about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got a 2,500. You'll be fine. You'll yank that little trailer around like it's like a little kid on one of those leashes at Walmart. Come here, kid.
Towing a pair.
You could probably take the cab off and put the trailer in the bed of your truck.
It's not a half bad idea.
Oh my God.
Save on tires.
I'm the only one rolling in a 1500. You got Nate with a 3500. You're in a 2500. You got Doug in a big old 2500. What's up, guy? It's just me and the little guy. Screaming at 4,000 RPMs. Sucking the gas down. 4 miles to the gallon.
Jamie, when you meet up with Nate, you guys should take turns. One of you drive the truck, and then the other drive that $900 billion party bus. And then we drop everything off, and then every day we can just arrive in style.
Wait a minute. Why didn't Chad just pick us all up and pull a trailer with his bus? What are we thinking?
How much can those tow?
I don't know. It's 3,500, isn't it?
Is it?
It is. I don't know. I don't know. Can you? You know, he could pull my trailer with it. It wouldn't like it. But it would pull it.
I don't know. It's a pretty big bus.
Okay.
I kind of like the Nate one idea, though.
That is a really nice bus. Not to knock yours, Chad. I've never seen
it. Not to knock you, Chad.
But then, you know, like in all honesty, Chad, I've never actually seen your bus. I've just seen pictures of it. So, you know, if I see the inside of it, then I can feel like I can compare it to
I can judge you accordingly.
Exactly.
Nate's is like a party bus.
Exactly.
Party
Chad's
bus.
more
it's
like Meals on
strip
Wheels.
Club.
Strip club on wheels,
it's
right?
like the inside of a strip club. Just needed a pole that came down the ceiling.
Bottle
Boom,
service in the back seat.
Wasn't there a pole in the back of it?
No, I don't think there was a pole back there. We did. I think we joked about it at one point. I think we actively got it. So what started as a joke actively got to the whole. Oh, you know what? I bet there's framework down there that we could attach it to.
There's probably a hot tub too.
Oh my God, that's great.
I told the barista lady that we were a boy band. when we went to the coffee shop.
I forgot about that.
We got to get coffee, and she's like, "Wow, you guys traveling?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're a boy band."
What's that Mercedes?
She's like, "Oh,
you can
wow!"
see her eyes like, "Really?
Really?
Who are you guys?"
Didn't you say something about NSYNC?
I haven't seen one of you since like 1994.
Oh my god! Yeah, we're older.
Funny.
I'm good. Why?
Okay.
Oh god!
She just made fun of you. I heard it.
I know. It's all right. I love her too.
Okay. Well, so then the other thing too. This is serious talk. What kind of alcohol do I need to bring?
I was thinking about trying that thing I sent you.
I want to do that. I had Katie buy lemonade. So we have the lemonade. We haven't opened it yet. And then I did buy a couple of 2 liters of Sprite, but we need a lot more than that, I think. I bought myself Sprite Zero because I like to eat my calories, not drink them.
So, and it was Tito's vodka, right? That's what I saw
Tito's.
in the video.
It was Tito's. And why do they drink them out of bags though? Is there a reason they did that?
I don't know. I think I have no idea. I saw that too, and I'm like, they just like can't find a big enough glass or something. I mean, if we're gonna do it, we're just gonna make one giant party bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and did you notice too that the guy he bought like the really small bottle of Tito's? I'm like,
she's making fun of him.
Yeah, well, she was making fun. Yeah, she was making fun of him, but I think that there was some utility in the way he did that too, because I almost wonder if they tried this with a bigger bottle and they're like, oh, we want to do different flavors, and we might not like. Because when you take a pack of Kool-Aid or something similar to a pack of Kool-Aid, how much does that make in reality?
That's actually probably what they did, though. They probably put them in the bags.
Did it, and it
tasted
so each one could have their
own flavor. Well, each bag was its own flavor, is what I think it is.
Oh, I don't know.
Because if you like cherry and I wanted watermelon, then you have your bag and I have my bag.
But I also I like it way more flavored. Because have you ever had Kool-Aid in too much water? Just tastes like water with
water.
Yeah, it tastes like water with like a hint of
like color instead of like an actual flavor. I can taste the dye.
It's like like lemon
Kool-Aid.
water. When people would bring you lemon water for dinner, it's like, why would I want that? It's water with just a hint of lemon. No, thank you.
You saw that, right, Jamie?
I did.
Okay.
Bunch of alcoholics.
Oh, he's the one that's always
the
like
kettle
anybody else
black
drinking.
right there, buddy.
Yeah, no shit.
The pod calling the kettle black.
I don't drink.
I consume.
Unlike though, I like to drink my calories.
I need to find those cups.
I look so very forward to seeing all of your smiling faces here in a few days.
Me too. And for everybody listening, including you two, and everybody that's coming to help, I really, truly, truly appreciate it. I know it's like coming off of last year's Sky Wars. It's like you already did it once, but it really means a lot that you guys are all willing to do this again for me and travel this far. Just keep your gas receipts.
If my equipment's dirty, it's your fault.
It was already dirty.
I took baby wipes to mine tonight, and the whole time I was doing it, I'm like, the only reason I'm doing this is because he's going to say something.
Oh, whatever.
He's going to make us a fucking joke about how dirty my shit is. So here we go. Katie wears those disinfectant wipes.
You'll be proud of me. The last 2 shows. So remember how I used to take all the right angles off of my modules? Well, now I bought more totes and I leave them all on there, less per tote, but they all fit in there with that on there. And I haven't washed my boots the last 2 times. So I figured.
What's sacrilege?
That's sacrilege. I just wanted to be, I'm like, you know what? It takes a lot more time. Just do it this way. And then I'll do it every 3rd show or something.
Caesar's getting lack.
A lot easier to put away. an extra tote, but whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a lot less time consuming.
It is true. I need to get a hold of CJ, and I need to ask him if I can take contact cleaner to those DB25 connectors on my 72Ms, because I got to thinking about this after I shot the leg. Jamie, you remember that 172 that's got a bad Q on it? I never did get that fixed. I never. Well, I don't know. That's corroded. There's gunk or something in the pin is my guess, or may have corrosion in there. I don't know.
On the pin, or you mean inside?
No, inside the receptacle, inside the DB25 receptacle. So I've got contact cleaner. I just need to, I hate using that contact cleaner. It's like the oil cans, right? You take the little spitty straw and you plug it in the end of the spray can, and then you try to spray as lightly and gently as possible before it spits out like a kraken spitting water across the room. But it's not water, it's contact cleaner, and it's all over all of your stuff.
Well, you can figure out which pin it is and just take some rubbing alcohol, dip a toothpick in it, and kind of throw it in there, rub it around, and then take a Q-tip, and spin it so that it's just fabric, real thin, and then throw that in it to kind of pull any.
Can I get you to write those steps down for me? Those steps.
I'd rather make a video about
Text
it.
Me.
I learned by watching.
Take a Q-tip, you spin it around, and then you rub this stuff on it, and then
he's got to spin it right round.
Spin it right round, baby.
Oh my God!
Speaking of spinning it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Stop talking about it.
Please stop talking about it.
Stop talking about it. See you everybody at PGI.
Yeah, Piggy.